Some smiles hide fear, some adventures hide danger, and some final photos capture people just moments before they vanished into the unknown. These images feel normal, hold clues, warnings, and mysteries that haunt investigators to this day. Behind each final image lies a chilling disappearance with no answers, only haunting questions. Let's uncover 5 chilling last photos of people before they vanished. Story 1. In the warm spring air of 2007, a quiet resort town along Portugal's coastline became the center of a mystery that would echo around the world. It was meant to be a simple family holiday, sun, relaxation, and memories. But on one ordinary evening, something happened that would change everything, and it all began with a final photo by the pool. Madeleine Beth McCann was born on May 12, 2003 in Leicestershire, England, to Kate and Jerry McCann, the oldest of 3 siblings. She was known as bright, curious, and full of energy. Loved ones described her as gentle, affectionate, and endlessly adventurous, a child who loved exploring new places and spending time outdoors. The family had taken the trip to Praia da Luz for a much-needed break, hoping to enjoy time together before Madeleine's upcoming 4th birthday. On the evening of May 3, 2007, the McCann family followed the same routine they had kept throughout their stay. Madeleine and her younger twin siblings were settled into their holiday apartment while their parents dined with friends at a nearby restaurant, only a short walking distance away. The adults took turns checking on their children throughout the night, something they had done each evening. But sometime after 10 p.m., Madeleine was no longer in her bed. The room was quiet, the twins still asleep, and the apartment door slightly open. There were no signs of a struggle, no sounds heard by anyone nearby, and no clear indication of what had happened in those brief, crucial minutes. The last confirmed image of Madeleine, taken earlier that afternoon, showed her sitting by the pool in a pink sun hat, unaware it would become one of the most widely recognized photos in the world. Portuguese police, local volunteers, and international authorities launched what would become one of the largest missing person searches in modern history. Over the years, investigators reviewed timelines, analyzed witness accounts, and followed leads across several countries. The case shifted between different lines of inquiry, each bringing new questions but few definitive answers. In recent years, European authorities renewed efforts to re-examine evidence and search areas previously overlooked. Locations in Portugal and Germany were revisited using updated technology, though these searches yielded no confirmed breakthroughs. Despite the vast resources dedicated to the case, the central mystery remained unchanged. How did a child disappear from a bustling holiday resort in a matter of minutes? Many theories emerged, some focusing on the timing of the evening checks, others on activity near the resort that night. Yet none have been conclusively proven, and authorities continue to urge caution against speculation. What is known is that the sequence of events between 9 p.m. and 10 p.m. holds gaps investigators still hope to fill. For Madeleine's family, the search has continued for nearly 2 decades. Kate and Jerry have remained vocal advocates for finding missing children, pushing for improved international cooperation in such cases. They have kept Madeleine's story in the public eye through campaigns, awareness efforts, and annual statements marking her birthday. Despite years of uncertainty, the family has expressed continued hope, reaffirming their belief that answers are still possible. Their commitment has inspired global support networks and contributed to broader conversations about child safety, international investigation protocols, and the importance of maintaining awareness for long-term missing person cases. What if the small details from that evening, the checks, the timing, the movements, hold answers we have yet to recognize? And what if the truth behind Madeleine's disappearance is still waiting to be uncovered? Story 2. A sunny day on a calm California lake should have been filled with laughter and peace. But sometimes, an ordinary moment captured in a single photograph becomes hauntingly final. Naya Rivera's last Instagram post, smiling with her young son, would freeze joy forever, becoming a chilling reminder of the life lost too soon. Naya Marie Rivera was born on January 12, 1987, in Valencia, California. From an early age, she displayed remarkable talent in singing and acting. In 1992, at the age of 5, Naya earned a Young Artist Award nomination for her role as Hillary Winston on the short-lived CBS sitcom The Royal Family. After a series of television roles and guest appearances, she eventually got her breakthrough role as Santana Lopez on the Fox television series Glee. For the role, she received critical acclaim and various awards, including a SAG Award and an ALMA Award, as well as earning nominations with the rest of the cast for a Grammy Award and a Brit Award. Friends and colleagues remembered her as vibrant, witty, and fiercely protective of those she loved. Beyond her professional achievements, Naya was a devoted mother known for her warmth, humor, and unwavering dedication to her young son. On July 8, 2020, Naya and her 4-year-old son, Josie Hollis Dorsey, boarded a rented pontoon boat at Lake Piru in Ventura County. Earlier that day, she shared her last Instagram post, a joyful photo of her and her son smiling together on the boat, captioned, "Just the two of us." That single post would become a haunting snapshot of a final, ordinary moment, one that froze a happy memory forever. Hours later, when Naya failed to return to the dock, concern quickly escalated. Authorities responded with search teams, carefully scouring the area for any sign of her. Her son was found safe, unharmed, and later recounted being alone on the boat, though he remembered his mother helping him. That last Instagram photo remained a stark reminder of their time together, joyful, ordinary, and forever chilling. Rescue crews conducted a thorough search of Lake Piru, using divers, drones, and sonar equipment. Investigators examined the circumstances of the disappearance, reviewing the timeline, the boat's rental records, and witness accounts. Though the lake had claimed lives before, Naya's case gained international attention due to her celebrity status and the emotional resonance of her last social media image. On July 13, 2020, authorities ultimately concluded that she died accidentally in the lake, and her actions were later described as protective and selfless toward her son. While the official cause of death focused on the unfortunate accident, media coverage and public reaction highlighted her courage and the enduring impact of her final moments. For Naya's family, friends, and fans, grief was immediate and profound. Tributes poured in from across the world, honoring her talent, her kindness, and her devotion as a mother. Her son and family established private remembrances, keeping her memory alive while navigating the profound loss. Social media posts, public statements, and fan-led tributes all celebrated her life and the joy she shared, ensuring her story remained a testament to love and care. Even in the years that followed, Naya's legacy has continued to inspire. Friends, colleagues, and fans remember her energy, her humor, and the love she carried for her family, turning tragedy into a call to cherish every moment with loved ones. What if that last Instagram post captured a fleeting goodbye without anyone realizing it? And what if the moments of joy she shared in that image are all the more precious because they were so ordinary yet unforgettable. Story 3. An adventurous climb, a steep ridge, and a final image that haunts family and investigators alike. In Hawaii's lush mountains, one photo taken by an 18-year-old hiker would become the last glimpse of him in the wild and the start of questions that remain unanswered to this day. Daylenn Moke Pua was born and raised on Hawaii Island, one of 7 children in his family. He came from a loving and lively household and was known for his outgoing nature, his love for outdoor adventures, and a fondness for singing and hula dancing among friends and family. In early 2015, he was in his senior year of high school, eager for life and looking ahead to new opportunities. The mountains called to him, and a weekend visit to Oahu and a plan to hike the famed Ridge Trail were his next adventures. On the morning of February 27, 2015, Moke set off early from his grandmother's house on Oahu, telling her he planned to go on a solo hike at Mount Oahu Valley Park, specifically to climb the ridge near the Haiku Stairs, also called the Stairway to Heaven. The metal staircase in the mountains consists of 3,922 steps and was originally built in 1942 during World War II for the U.S. Naval Radio Station. The stairs were officially closed since 1987, but he'd long admired the challenge. Around that morning, he took photos from the trail and texted them to his family. One image stands out. A camera shot of the ridge path looking out across steep slopes, and in the background, a dark-shaped figure partially hidden behind vegetation. His family later asked the public to help identify the person in the photo. Hours passed with no return, and his phone's last known ping came from the trail's ridgeline. Search teams began to scour the mountainside, climbing and rappelling along dangerous terrain. Despite intensive efforts in the days that followed, no trace of Moke was found, and the one last photograph became both a clue and a mystery in itself. Search operations on Oahu included the fire department, Navy helicopters, volunteers, and drone teams. The ridge where Moke was last seen is narrow, rugged, and poorly marked in places, especially the less frequently used Moanalua Valley route, believed to lead to the summit. A key focus was the last photo. The family pointed out the shadowy figure in the background and asked if the man might have been with Moke, or a witness, or entirely unrelated. As the planned 3-day search was coming to a close, 2 hikers reported hearing a cry for help near Moanalua Valley, where authorities decided to extend the search. The ridgeline where the hikers heard the cry for help was about 1 meter wide and had extreme drop-offs. It was a treacherous spot. One theory holds that Moke may have inadvertently taken the back trail into Moanalua Valley, became disoriented, and suffered a fall or exposure. Another theory suggests the figure in his photo may hold answers, though no confirmation has come. As of now, his whereabouts remain unknown, and the photo remains the final visual of him alive. Moke's family continues to live with the uncertainty of his disappearance. They have held on to hope, collaborating with volunteer search groups, sharing images and trail maps, and maintaining his memory in the local community. Friends remember the young man who always lit up the day, as his grandmother once said, and who loved exploring the outdoors with joy and ease. For the family, the unanswered questions are painful, especially the meaning of that last photograph, perhaps the last message he sent before vanishing into the mountains. What if the figure lurking in that last photograph held the key to what really happened on that ridge? And what if Moke's final moments were captured in a simple image, waiting quietly for someone to recognize the hint hidden in plain sight? Story 4. A remote desert ridge. A lone hiker stepping into silence. When the last shot of a YouTuber explorer captures both triumph and foreboding, it raises chilling questions. For Kenny Veach, that image would become his final recorded moment, a snapshot of possibility, mystery, and disappearance. Kenny Lee Veach was born in 1967 in Las Vegas, Nevada. A passionate outdoorsman and amateur inventor, he documented his solo expeditions under the YouTube handle SnakeBeatMG. Over the years, he explored the Mojave and Great Basin deserts, mapping old mine shafts, abandoned trails, and remote ridges. Friends described him as fearless, curious, and somewhat reckless, a man who searched where few ventured. He dabbled in inventions, once submitting a prototype on Shark Tank, but his true love remained the wild, caves, canyons, and the sweeping Nevada desert. In 2014, Kenny posted an ominous comment online. He claimed to have discovered a cave entrance shaped like the letter M, somewhere near the Sheep Range north of Las Vegas, near Nellis Air Force Base. He wrote that as he approached the cave, his body began vibrating, and fear overtook his curiosity. In October 2014, he released a video titled M Cave Hike, in which he retraced the terrain, camera in hand, pistol slung, attempting to relocate the site. Then, on November 10th, 2014, Kenny set out for a third solo trip near Nellis Air Force Base, Clark County, Nevada, United States, and telling his loved ones it would be a short overnight hike, but he never returned. The last clear visual of Kenny comes from his earlier October video. A shot of himself standing next to a vertical abandoned mine shaft, lens pointed toward the rugged ridge ahead. In that frame, his silhouette against the canyon, the dusty path stretching onward. It stands as his final documented image. Searchers later found his cell phone on November 22nd at the base of that same mine shaft. No photo of him beyond that remains publicly verified, making the mineshaft frame the last reliable image of him alive. Search and rescue teams from Red Rock. Search and rescue and other volunteers combed the desolate region. They found Kenny's white Honda CR-V parked at the trailhead and his cell phone near the shaft, but no camera gear, no backpack, no remains. The trail went cold. Where could a seasoned hiker vanish without trace? Several theories emerged. One theory: Kenny suffered an accident, fell down an unseen mine shaft, or succumbed to exposure in the harsh desert. The Mojave is unforgiving, especially for a solo hiker in remote terrain. A second theory: his claims of the M Cave and the vibrations were real, and he encountered something he shouldn't have, leading to foul play, a government cover-up, or even something paranormal. A third theory: close to his disappearance, Kenny's girlfriend claimed he battled depression and had said, "If I decide to do it, no one will ever find me." She suggested he intentionally left his phone by the shaft so the GPS would mislead rescuers. Despite years of interest and dozens of people retracing his route, the M Cave has never been definitively found. The last image remains the mineshaft shot, and Kenny's body has never been recovered. Kenny's disappearance left his family with no answers, only the haunting final image and his abandoned phone. His girlfriend and close friends continue to share his story, warn other hikers of the dangers of solo exploration and the desert's unpredictability. Many online communities still examine his footage, map the route he took, and debate what the M Cave might be, if it exists. The last photograph has become a symbol, a man on the brink of discovery, or perhaps on the brink of something darker. For those who knew him, the image captures exactly who he was: adventurous, persistent, and unafraid to tread where few dared. What if that last photo, his silhouette at the mine shaft, holds more than scenery? And what if the mystery of Kenny Veach is waiting in that frame, in that path he disappeared down for someone brave enough to follow? Story 5. Out in the vast blue of the Tasman Sea, one solitary figure paddled toward a dream and toward a final moment captured in time. The last photograph of Andrew McAuley shows more than just an adventurer at sea. It reveals fatigue, triumph, and the silence that followed. His dream of crossing from Tasmania to New Zealand would end not with arrival, but with vanishing. Andrew McAuley was born on August 7, 1968, in Goulburn, New South Wales, Australia. A skilled mountaineer and sea kayaker, he had forged daring expeditions in the mountains and across the water. He was married to Vicky McAuley and father to a young son, Finley. Colleagues remembered him as fiercely determined, quietly introspective, and driven by a relentless urge to push boundaries. He wasn't just seeking records, he was exploring the edge of human endurance. His attempt to cross the Tasman Sea was the culmination of years of preparation and passion. On January 11, 2007, Andrew set off from Tasmania, aiming to paddle solo across the Tasman Sea toward New Zealand's remote Fiordland coast. His craft was a modified touring kayak, extended to withstand the rough southern waters, but still vulnerable to nature's fury. Days of grueling conditions followed. Storms battered him, seas rose and fell, and fatigue mounted. Then, near the end of his journey, just about 120 kilometers from his destination, he spoke to his wife, confident of arrival. The next survivor of his expedition was a memory card recovered from his kayak. It contained a haunting photograph. McAuley, soaked and weary, sunblock streaked across his face, staring into the camera, a massive wave looming behind him. Hours later, on February 9, 2007, his emergency radio transmitted a garbled, desperate message in which the words "help" and "sinking" could be discerned. On February 10th, his kayak was found capsized, intact, except for the missing cockpit canopy, adrift roughly 80 kilometers from Milford Sound. His body was never recovered. Search teams scoured thousands of square kilometers of the sea, deploying aircraft, ships, and divers, but only the kayak and some gear were recovered. Investigators analyzed his route, the condition of his craft, and the photograph that captured him in his final hours. One prominent theory: McAuley capsized while attempting to sleep inside his kayak's sealed hatch. The missing canopy, Casper, had likely been ripped off by a rogue wave, preventing him from re-entering the craft. Another theory: separation from his kayak in frigid waters led to hypothermia or exhaustion. His last photo reveals his posture and expression. They reflect a man at the brink of success, yet also at the mercy of the sea. The wave behind him in that image stands as both a backdrop and a warning. Despite professional rescue interpretation, no definitive explanation has emerged. Andrew's family was plunged into grief and uncertainty. Without closure, they faced the unanswerable. Did he succeed in seeing land? Did he drift into the night while sleep overtook him? His wife Vicky wrote solo chronicling the final journey, and a memorial service at Sydney's Macquarie Lighthouse gathered friends, family, and fellow adventurers in February 2007. The kayak used in the expedition is now exhibited at the Australian National Maritime Museum as a tribute to his ambition and as a cautionary symbol of the risks he embraced. Loved ones continue to remember Andrew as the man who wouldn't turn back, but who also accepted the unknown as part of the journey. What if that final photograph of Andrew staring into the lens, wave behind him, was the silent plea no radio message could capture? And what if the answer to what happened lies in that frame, in the seconds before contact was lost, waiting to be understood? Each of these final images leaves us with more questions than answers, frozen moments of life, adventure, and ordinary joy that ended far too soon. Though the missing remain unseen, their stories endure, their memories preserved in the images they left behind and in the hearts of those who loved them. These final glimpses are not just photographs, they are echoes of lives that mattered and of mysteries that still captivate the world. This is Vanished Stories, where the missing are never forgotten